This is the holiday version of Behind the Bench. We can't find a bench to get behind Scotty, but I think the fans will want to hear from us anyway. At the beginning of the year, you talked about having a team, and that's 23, 25 players that are going to be utilized at any given time. Guys are going to have to sit and watch. It's the response of the guys watching to be able to come back and play. You've been able to force a few hands this week to be able to come back, and last night was a true indication that you did use the entire bench.
Well, yeah, I think that, in this business, I know that players aren't going to be good 82 games. It's a long season, and guys are going to have off nights, and you have to allow for that. But when inconsistent play starts to linger, when it becomes, 5, 6, 7 games, you're not doing what it is we ask you to do night in and night out. Everybody knows what their roles are. Then it's time for some guys to take either lose ice time and lose those quality minutes, or it's like we've done recently, we've put some guys in the press box, and it doesn't mean I dislike the player and I don't ever want to see him again. It's just sometimes a wake up call. Sometimes it's a tool to get these guys back on track to where they need to be. And you hate doing it, but it's part of what happens, and it happens on every team. And it's just something that when you have depth like we have, you can afford to do that.
Your philosophy has always been you reflect very quickly on what happened in the past and look ahead, and that was a true indication of last night. It appeared right from the drop of the puck the team was ready to play. They competed, and what they did, I thought, in that second period, being able to kill off the penalties is a sign of simplifying the game and doing the things that need to be done starting in the net out.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that we took so many calls, whether they were calls or not, right or wrong. We got back on that, sort of that old thing that we had early in the year where we were taking unnecessary penalties, and you don't want to give a team momentum, especially a team that's the top 5 in the league in their power play. But what it did to me in that second period, we all huddled up and did a good job of killing those penalties off, and the 4-on-3, then the 5-on-3, then the 5-minute major. What it did, it ignited the arena, and the crowd got into it, and then we scored right after. Brass scored right away, and then all of a sudden our bench was ignited, and as was the building. And I think it really kind of helped us sort of persevere for the rest of that game.
That was certainly the indication in Chicago. I thought penalty killing wise, you stood guys up at the blue line. Chicago didn't come across with speed, have a tough time setting up. Last night, another indication of that.
Yeah, well, you know what? We've been doing a good job through that neutral area. I think that the breakdown goals that we had the other night, certainly the first one was just a misread on a face-off, and the second one was we kind of got scrambled a bit, but. Your penalty kill and your power play are so important in this stretch. Certainly, I've said all year long that it's a huge part of what the NHL is today. And last night, single-handedly, our penalty kill was the big reason that kept that game close. It gave us a chance to get that lead in the third period.
Timely scoring as well was an indication. They did score late in that second period, but you showed a little bit of resolve at the start of that third, came out, and boy, I'll tell you, it was a cast of others that chipped in.
Yeah, well, we had talked about being in a one-goal game in Chicago and going in the third period and lost the game. Last night we didn't want to allow that to happen, that we worked to get there, that make a difference, find a way to make a difference, and certainly Toots, a heck of a shot that he threw in there, and then just a good example again of Andrew Murray throwing a puck from a bad angle into the goaltender's feet, and you never know what happens. And I just think that we have to get back to it. If you look at early in the year, we always talked about bad angle shots and getting as many pucks in the net as possible and making goaltenders work to create the second and third chances, and we got rewarded last night, and that's what you want us to do. That's how we have success. We want to continue to do.
As Canadian boys, we do get excited. We get a chance to play against two teams. It's the Battle of Ontario, but heading back into the so-called promised land in Toronto certainly has to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is for me. Obviously, playing in Toronto, close to home, it's exciting. It's exciting for a lot of our players. We've got a big ticket list of family and friends that are coming in, and again, it's a good opportunity for us to go and gain another 2 points. But playing in Toronto and that hub of media and the excitement that kind of buzzes that's going on from the morning skate, obviously, right through the game, it's fun times for our players to be in. And sometimes I would think it'd be a disadvantage for Toronto because all those players coming in, it's a gigantic boost. And so hopefully we can make all our family and friends happy and have a big smile on their face after we gain 2 points there.
Well, listen, hopefully a couple of wins. Happy New Year to you, and Happy New Year to the fans. Should be some excitement.
Yep, Happy New Year to everybody, and let's hope that 2011 is a great year.
For Jackets TV, I'm Bill Davidge.